All right, Nick, let's talk about the Los Angeles Rams. A little bit of breaking news on the Rams front. There is a key player that has been granted permission to go seek a trade. We're going to talk about just that. I am Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, Nick, as I alluded to, a key Rams defensive player have been granted permission to go seek a trade. Let's jump straight into this and we can talk more about what this is going to mean for the Rams on the other side. This, of course, is from the ever reputable Jeremy Fowler over at ESPN. Says source Rams have granted linebacker Ernest Jones IV and his agents permission to seek a trade. Jones is 2025 free agent. He's one of the LA's best defensive play callers with 145 tackles, 4.5 sacks last year. Sides discussed an extension, but no progress has been made. The Rams are now open to a trade. This is pretty big news for the Rams. It would have to be a pretty big trade if they were going to trade a guy like Jones. Nick, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this one. But before we get to you, Rams fans, in the comment section below, this is an interesting situation. I think Jones is a really great player for the Rams. But if they were to trade him, what are you thinking they could get from him? Give us some scenarios in the comments below. What are some options you would like to see the Rams get if they were to trade Jones? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And while you're down there, check the description below the video. Check out our recommend reading book. Been plugging it all off season. It is none other than Playmakers by Mike Florio. It is a great book. It breaks down the NFL really well, the ins and outs of everything. You will enjoy it. Check it out. And if you want to get it, use our Amazon affiliate link in the description below the video. It costs you nothing and it really helps us out. But nonetheless, Nick, let's get on into it. What do you think about this potential trade of Jones?
Yeah, so hearing the early reports and commentary on this potential trade, everyone seems to be surprised, right? Everyone's like Ernest Jones. He's a young, talented player. He's kind of a team captain. He's a leader on this Rams organization. Why on God's green earth do they want to let him? Why are they trying to trade him? Or at least they're not going to extend him. They're going to let him walk, essentially. And when we talk about Sean McVay and we talk about Les Snead and we talked about this modern iteration of the Rams, and we go back the entire offseason, you can watch our videos, talk about it all the time. We compare them to the Bill Belichick era 2000s New England Patriots in terms of intelligence, in terms of thinking differently. And there's some historical parallels between what the Rams are doing here, what the Patriots under Belichick did prior to the 2003 season. The Patriots that time, they had a safety named Lawyer Malloy. He was a talented safety. He was a team leader, team captain, won a Super Bowl with them, made a Pro Bowl with the Patriots. Right before the regular season, the Patriots and their coaching staff decided Lawyer Malloy's production versus the amount he was being paid and his whole situation in terms of defensive structure wasn't worth it. It was bad for the team, so they cut him. It was a shocking story. It just completely blew up the airwaves. ESPN commentator actually went publicly and said the Patriots hated their coach. A lot of people predicted the downfall of the New England Patriots. Now we can fast forward 21 years and we know the Patriots won the Super Bowl that season. They went on to win 5 more titles for a total of 6 under the Bill Belichick era of dominance. All those people that were shocked and surprised that a popular player would be cut or moved away during training camp need to remember here in this situation that smart leadership, great leadership, guys who are forward thinking, not caught up in the emotions like McVay is, like Les Snead is, like Bill Belichick was when he was running the Patriots. They make a lot of moves. They'll make a lot of decisions that are a little surprising to you, but you have to understand it's all about what's best for the team in terms of long-term direction. And if you look at the successful teams, the hit rate on big-term, long-term deals for linebackers, isn't that great. If you go over to overthecap.com, if you look at the biggest contracts for linebackers across the entire National Football League, here are the teams that have signed to some of the biggest deals. You've got the Browns, you've got the Giants, you've got the Steelers, you got the Bears, you got the 49ers, and you've got the Ravens, right? Not a lot of Super Bowl titles among those teams. And you got some terrible organizations. You throw in the Browns and the Giants. The Steelers have really struggled as of late. The 49ers and the Ravens have been pretty good, but even then, they've kind of disappointed in terms of playoff success, right? The Rams under McVay and Snead obviously won a Super Bowl. They know a thing or two outside of what the 49ers and what the Baltimore Ravens have in terms of winning titles. Trust the process. Trust Sean McVay. Trust Les Snead. Paying big dollars to linebackers in this day and age in this NFL frankly doesn't seem to be worth it. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they're the reigning dynasty right now. They're down to like number 20 overall in terms of dollars allocated to linebackers. Look at what the smart teams are doing. Linebackers, not necessarily worth it. Defensive line, pass rushers, definitely are. Quarterbacks definitely are. Offensive linemen definitely are. This is what Les Snead is recognizing. This is what Sean McVay is recognizing, and it's a smart move by the Rams. Even if it's a little disheartening for a fan base, but trust the process, folks. It's the right decision to make.
Yeah, Nick, and I completely agree with you. And you bring up the best point here is the line, the defensive line, the outside linebackers for this team, or what you would call, in this 3-4, like edge guys, is so strong for the Rams. I think you have to wait and see what happens there with Fisk and Verse, those additions. This defensive front is going to be fierce. We all know Kobe Turner is, I'll say it's a little bit early, but probably close to the second coming of an Aaron Donald-esque player. He's very, very good. He was really good last year. We had tons of film breakdowns on him. If you want to go refresh your memory, check those out. And then, of course, we have the young Byron Young as well. So I think they know what they're doing. Like you said, this is a team that has so much talent on this defensive front. You don't have to be stacked everywhere. If you have a really good, talented defensive front and you're solid at linebacker, you don't have to the best guys. I think you can do really, really well in this day and age of the National Football League. Because let's be honest, the two most important things to have on the defense is a good pass rush to disrupt the quarterback, which they definitely have here, and then some corners to really help lock things down. Darius Williams is a decent guy, had a pretty good season last season, versus as well as Tre'Davious White. We all know what that guy can do at his peak. He could be a really good player as well. So I think this is a Rams defense that could get by without Jones. Plus, the Rams have been really good at identifying talent in these new drafts, young guys to come in. And they have two guys that are really young that, they could potentially develop to be players. We haven't heard a whole lot about them yet, but Eli Neal, young linebacker from this draft class, undrafted player, and as well as Omar Spites, two guys that are young linebackers from this 2024 draft class that are on the Rams roster. So I think they have something in mind. I think if you do trade Jones, you probably get some form of linebacker in return that will be much cheaper option. But I think this will be a smart move if the Rams do it, because I think anything the Rams do nowadays is pretty dang smart.
And just one final point to end on here. As good as Ernest Jones is, and he's a good player, it's not like you're dealing with a Hall of Fame level linebacker here. I mentioned Fred Warner, I believe, earlier for the 49ers. He had the best PFF grade among inside linebackers last year. Ernest Jones, great season. He's all the way down at number 8, right? So again, it's not like you're handing over, a once in a generation talent, not even close. He's a really good player coming at the end of his contract at a position that is not as valued as it has been in years past. It's the smart move to make this kind of decision to try and get some return on him while you still can. It's the right strategy to make. And Rams fans, you guys should actually appreciate it that you've got some leadership that's willing to make these hard kind of decisions, the best kind of decisions to manage your football team.